Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Good to see everybody. Hump day. Couple more days till the weekend. Good to see you all. Crypto 440. What's up, buddy? Let's see who's in the chat and then we'll get into today's topics. Carl Coke. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see who else is here. Chris Hanley. Dom G. You won the hash rate last night when I picked the winners. So make sure you reach out to me in Discord or send me an email. We'll figure it out. Tim, I am Crypto. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. As a pirate. We have Carl Code. I already said that. Cape Cod Crypto. Good to see you. Alvidus. You as well. Steven Cicero. X16Q up and running. Octa and Zill. So happy. Dude, that's awesome. I need to get my X16Q either doing Octaspace or I really want to solo mine ETC. And actually, can you solo mine Octaspace? Is that a possibility on that thing or not? Let me know. Actually, if you know. If not, then I'll try to test that myself. Crypto Frank, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Leo Lustig as well. I think I already said that. But anyways, all right, let's get into the charts and then we're gonna get into Visa, the crypto. I mean the payment giant getting into crypto. It's kind of insane. Hopefully it does spark off the bull run. That would be really nice. I guess they're into they were into what, Ethereum and now Solana. Is that what's going on there? And then we have what else? What else do we have actually? I can't remember. Let me see. Oh yeah, the stake getting hacked, and then USDC stable coins settlements, I guess, coming up with Crypto World. And then I just kind of want to go over some charting stuff with Crypto Zombie because I actually haven't watched any of his videos in a while. So let's see what we're looking like today. Over here, Bitcoin 25,724. We have Ethereum 1632. Let's see, Litecoin 63 bucks, Dogecoin 6 cents, still same thing, almost 6.5. XRP 50 cents. Nothing's really changed. Check out crypto bubbles. Over here on the day, we have Caspa. Look at this. Caspa's up 12.1%. Look at that. Almost 4 cents. Hell yeah. That's excellent. Is anybody still mining Caspa? Anybody? New AMD cards dropped today. Backwards Miner says, really? I didn't know that. What card is it? Actually, let's see. SNX. What's SNX? Oh, Synthetics. Synthetics is up. What is it? 12%. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Everything's looking pretty good today, actually. Pretty green for the most part. OKP's down 1.2%. But I mean, honestly, like everything else is pretty much neutral or pumping pretty good. Or I mean, XLM's the only one stellar. Is really the only one that's pretty much down. But anyways, top 10 coins by coin market cap. Let's check them out. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP, USD coin, Lido Staked Ether, Dogecoin, Cardano, and Solana. Again, Litecoin is in 15th place like it was the last couple weeks or days anyways. Let's check out the Fear and Greed Index without blinding you guys. So we're looking at 42 fear, more or less. It's still pretty neutral, but when this number starts dropping, that's time to buy, at least in my opinion, and according to Warren Buffett. All right, let's get into this crypto world. Let's see what they have to talk about Visa and again stablecoin settlement and Solana on Visa or whatever. Solana, Visa riding on Solana's chain, right? So let's get into this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Sorry, it is early and I am stumbling over my words. Let's do it.
Today, Visa expands stablecoin settlements using the Solana blockchain. Hackers steal millions from crypto betting platform Stake, and the co-founder of the crypto hedge fund AltTab Capital breaks down what's happening with prices.
That stinks about the whole Stake thing getting hacked. That's kind of crazy.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. Crypto markets mixed as we come out of the holiday weekend. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin slipped to around $25,700. Ether rose slightly to $1635. And Solana jumped to $20.40. Okay, let's catch you up on the latest headlines. One of the driving forces behind Solana's gains this morning is Visa's plan to use the network for payments. The payments giant announced on Tuesday that it will expand stablecoin settlement capabilities and will launch pilots with WorldPay and Nuvei using the high-performing Solana blockchain. Visa also said it's already moved millions of dollars worth of USDC between partners using Solana and Ethereum, settling fiat-denominated payments authorized over VisaNet. That's the company's electronic payments network. Over on X, formerly Twitter, Solana said this newest expansion enables enterprise-grade throughput with virtually no cost for Visa issuers and merchants. Visa began exploring USDC back in 2021 when it started accepting transactions with the stablecoin as a way to speed up cross-border payments and settlement times. Next, hackers just ran off with millions of dollars from the crypto gambling network.
I have to pause this for a second. So when it comes to so the fees over on the Solana chain, I'm personally not too familiar with it. So is it much cheaper than Ethereum using Solana? Is that kind of what, or the reason they're going that route, using that chain versus Ethereum? Let me know if you guys know in the chat. I'm very interested to know, at least myself. All right, let's continue. Let me just scroll this back a little bit. Like here.
Speed up cross-border payments and settlement times. Next, hackers just ran off with millions of dollars from the crypto gambling network Stake. On Monday, the betting platform posted on X that unauthorized transactions were made from the company's hot wallets. It said it was investigating and user funds were safe.
Oh, at least that's a good thing. User funds are safe. All right, so yeah, Solana is cheaper and faster than ETH. Fees are usually pennies. Okay, I've never used a Solana chain, or actually paid attention, I guess, to the difference in price on the Solana chain versus Ethereum, because I've only used it like minimal times. Anonymous Miner, where the hell have you been? I haven't seen you in forever. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for showing up today.
Blockchain security and analytics company PeckShield estimated the hack to be around $41 million stolen over several transactions. Stake launched back in 2017 and has gained sponsorships from the likes of Drake, who announced a partnership with the company on Instagram back in March of 2022. Last up, MetaMask scammers are reportedly spoofing government websites around the world to lure victims. According to an investigation by Cointelegraph, scammers used URLs matching several government addresses from countries like Egypt, Colombia, and Brazil. If a MetaMask user clicked on one of these links, they'd be taken to a fake MetaMask website where they'd be asked to input their wallet details and unknowingly give away full access to their wallet. Now, we reached out to MetaMask and haven't heard back yet, but a support article on its website tells users that if they fall victim to a scam, they should get in touch with MetaMask support and alert the police.
You know what's unfortunate about that? If you are subject to a scam, or you get caught up in like a scam, something along those lines, where you end up inputting your seed phrase or private keys into a fake website, you're screwed. That's what it comes down to. They can't do anything for you because you literally handed over the keys to your car to a thief. Do you know what I mean? That's pretty much how it goes. It's unfortunate, but I don't know. I mean, you can reach out, but they're not gonna be able to do anything. So just be wary. Make sure you guys are definitely, you know, when you're going to move funds or do anything with your seed phrase, just please double, triple check everything before you just clicking on shit and filling things out. That's how people get hacked. It's how you get viruses. Just be safe. All right. Ask people if you're not sure. That's why I made Misfit Mining. Ask people if you're not sure.
All right, back to markets for our main story. Crypto World's Talia Kaplan spoke with Greg Moritz, the co-founder and chief operating officer at the crypto hedge fund AltTab Capital, about what's happening with markets following last week's Grayscale Bitcoin ETF ruling.
I want to start off by talking about crypto markets. Last week, the DC Court of Appeals sided with Grayscale, which sued the SEC over the agency's denial of a plan to convert the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. But the gains made after the Grayscale court ruling just couldn't last. In fact, the crypto market kicked off September in the red after capping its worst month of 2023. And this morning, Bitcoin was trading below $26,000. So how do you explain those moves, and what do you think is driving prices right now?
Absolutely. So if you look at the immediate action after the verdict by the appeals court, what you'll see is that there was an immediate 6% price spike up. But if you look a little closer at that, you'll see that it was almost entirely driven by the futures market and was almost entirely low volume. The crypto markets right now are very thin. It's a very thin market, which means that volatility is going to be higher than it would be in a more robust part of the market cycle. And so looking at historical crypto price action for this year, what we have is for the roughly last 23 weeks, we've been in a range between the low 20s to mid high 20s in the Bitcoin price. And so When there is a market news event like that Grayscale versus SEC decision, it tends to cause quick volatility, but in the end, the price tends to return to the overall trend of the asset. And that's
real quick. Somebody asked if that was a spider web in his beard, but it's not. I honestly thought the same thing. Have you guys ever used or just been in the bathroom around your wife and for some reason you have the longest piece of hair either in your beard or on your head and you can feel it but you can't get it off? I felt like that's probably the situation he's in, but I think that's actually just the stress gray beard hair, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what we saw in this case.
So what do you think it will take to get another long-term crypto rally? And do you think it could happen soon? I mean, last week we learned that the SEC delayed making a decision on a bunch of spot Bitcoin ETF applications. So it doesn't sound like that could be a boost to prices anytime soon.
You're right. That's a great question. When we look at the approval process for those ETFs, it's almost certainly going to stretch into 2024 when the final deadline for most of those applications are, the earliest being in late January 2024. When we talk about immediate crypto price action, we expect to see it ranging in the same range it's been in for likely the next month or so, with the possibility of additional downturn. However, we are in what's considered the early stage bull cycle. And this is when, looking at historical price action, the market tends to go sideways and then down a bit. And then the longer it spends in that consolidation zone where it's going sideways, like it's doing right now, and like it's done for the last half of a year, the stronger the bounce usually is on the way back up, and the stronger bull market rally we see. So we think that towards the end of Q4 of this year, and especially early into next year, we expect to see really strong price action in the crypto market.
So there have been regulatory advancements in crypto in places like Europe, Dubai, Hong Kong, and Japan. And because of that, we've seen several crypto firms expanding offshore or leaving the US entirely, especially amid a lack of regulatory clarity here. Your crypto hedge fund, Altab Capital, which was founded in the US in 2021, launched an office in London this year. So I'm wondering, what was behind that move? Did the regulatory advancements in the UK and the crypto crackdown here in the US have anything to do with it?
It did play a factor. When we look at international expansion and when we look at what jurisdictions are going to be the easiest and most logical to do business in, the regulatory environment is a huge factor. And Europe and Asia are leading the way in the crypto space. The US is falling significantly behind, and we're in a place.
Yeah, thanks, Gary, for that, by the way, falling behind.
Where we're seeing regulation via litigation versus Congress actually passing bills that would significantly help from a regulatory perspective. So until there's greater regulatory clarity in the US, we're going to see more firms like mine and more capital and more new projects coming out of places like Europe and Asia.
So how is your crypto hedge fund operating here in the US amid the current backdrop, especially with regulatory uncertainty in the mix?
It's a great question, and the answer involves a lot of long conversations with lawyers on a regular basis. The short version is that we are very careful in what products we trade. We are a commodity pool operator registered with the National Futures Association, and we are under the supervision of the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. And so we are very careful. We decided to be regulatory compliant first because we think that's the path to long-term success. But it's very hard to be regulatory compliant first here in the US. And even many firms that have tried working with the SEC in order to be compliant in that way have not received any kind of clear guidance and have had to go offshore. And I'm sure they would love to come back as soon as the US environment is ready for them.
It's important to note that we have been seeing some regulatory advancements here in the US recently. For example, several weeks ago, the House Financial Services Committee advanced a set of crypto bills. What do developments like that signal to you? Does it instill confidence that regulatory clarity here in the US is in fact achievable?
I think it's absolutely achievable. And I would go even further and say it's inevitable. This asset class isn't going anywhere. And the US is going to have a comprehensive regulatory framework that allows crypto and digital currencies to be successful in the US. And so when we look at the actions, like those recent House bills you mentioned, they very closely in many ways mirror MiCA or the current regulatory regime in Europe. And that was surprisingly easy to work with and logical, and it laid out a clear path to compliance that kept both firms happy, but more importantly, consumers safe. And so we're seeing efforts in the US to do that same thing, and we're seeing it gain additional steam every year. And so I think that we are not that far away from comprehensive crypto legislation in the US.
Greg Moritz also explains what he thinks is preventing mass adoption of crypto. You'll be able to check out his full interview over at cnbc.com/cryptoworld. That's all for Crypto World today, but we will...
Shout out to CNBC for that. All right, let's get into Altcoin Daily. He talks about the Visa stuff as well, so let's do it.
Payments giant Visa has just integrated the Solana blockchain. And while I want to update you on Hedera news and Binance news, as of today, Visa to now send stablecoin USDC over Solana to help pay merchants in crypto.
One of the driving forces behind Solana's gains this morning is Visa's plan to use the network for payments. Visa also said it's already moved millions of dollars worth of USDC between partners using Solana and Ethereum, settling fiat-denominated payments authorized over VisaNet. That's the company's electronic payments network.
So what this means to you is that now merchants can choose. If they want to settle stablecoin transactions, they can now choose from, of course, Ethereum, but now also Solana. Visa said it's one of the first major financial institutions to use the Solana network at scale for settlements. The integration of USDC issued on Ethereum and Solana into Visa's ecosystem means that the former, Solana, can leverage Visa's treasury and settlement systems to bridge traditional finance with Web3. And in a direct quote from Visa's head of crypto, he says, "It's still early days, but Visa has already settled millions of dollars of USDC over both ETH and Solana blockchains between our clients. We are committed to continuing to innovate how we move money and providing our clients modern options for settlement." So just realize that Visa now holds both Ethereum and Solana. Microsoft has integrated with Aptos. Polygon blockchain is being used by Starbucks, DraftKings, Reddit, Nike, Instagram. $9.3 trillion BlackRock has publicly endorsed Bitcoin. So even though in the short term, Bitcoin still is consolidating near the local lows,
BlackRock has also invested into 4 out of 5 of the largest mining facilities in the US.
Very possible may take another leg down, as discussed in greater detail with veteran trader Gareth Soloway, linked down below. But it's very interesting which altcoins are separating themselves from the pack. For example, why is Hedera pumping? Well, we know a few weeks ago they made this announcement: HBAR rallies on FedNow edition of Hedera-based drop. And another way to say that would be the US Federal Reserve's instant payments platform FedNow added drop, a Hedera-based micropayments platform, as a service provider. Now, Drop is a pay-by-bank alternative to credit card payments, which allows merchants to accept small value purchases digitally without large transaction fees. And that brings us to the news today being Hedera now has over 20 billion transactions in total, taking about 1,738 days for the first 10 billion, and then only 100 days for the next 10 billion. Real world adoption, real world utility. And huge update, will this be the crypto show to kick off the 2024
what do you guys think about this,
bull market?
honestly?
This is an exclusive.
Let me know in the chat. This is like, I mean, it's just strange for me.
First look at our debut TV show, Killer Whales.
This is the new show they're coming out with. I don't fully understand it.
We fail, the world is I think that's flawed. And because of this, I'm going to be thinking.
It's like they want to be Shark Tank. What the hell is that? Look at that thing. Oh, this is loud.
I think it's time to sink or swim.
I mean, it sounds cool.
So
Cool
proud
trailer.
of this show. As you know, my brother and I are producers and judges on the show. It features 22 crypto projects, 13 different nationalities, 11 different killer whale judges.
Dude, Leo Lustig, thanks so much for the 5 gifted memberships. You have to do that, man. Appreciate it. Enzo Mining got it. Backwoods Miner, Financial Man, Kirk, and Dog. Dude, appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys link your YouTube with Discord, and you'll get access to the VIP channel, and you will have the entries to win or whatever for the free hash rate every week. You're awesome. Thank you so much.
5 total episodes in one killer whale show coming in January 2024. And while the vast majority of the credit and the high production value goes to show creator Paul Caslin, as well as the Hello team, my brother and I do have a small ownership in the show. Producers, judges, I really hope you guys watch. I really hope you support us. January 2024. And what about Binance?
Oh, did you guys hear this shit about Jim Cramer saying that Binance is gonna go crazy? Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mr. Leo Lustig. You're awesome. Yeah, so Jim Cramer, I guess, is saying that Binance is, well, he's very bullish on it now, but he did the same thing when it comes to FTX, and FTX went to shit shortly after. So, not sure.
Has been going around as of this morning that Jim Cramer has flipped bullish on Binance and says, CZ looks like a good guy. I'm bullish here, loading up on their tokens, way oversold. Now, this tweet went incredibly viral. People were sort of scared because Jim Cramer did say a similar thing about FTX and SBF before they went under. If this isn't the biggest indicator that Binance is about to go bust, I don't know what is. Well, this channel did more digging. Turns out this entire post is complete FUD. It's fake. Because this is actually a screenshot of Jim Cramer from a video in September of 2022 where he discussed treasuries. But while
if he did actually say that, though, if it was legit, yeah, it would probably be going under like next month.
this is a fake story, it does still pose the question, is Binance safe?
How safe is Binance right now? How can the users maintain their trust, and does Binance have any current liabilities?
So Binance, we ran a very simple business. We have not taken loans from other people. We have not taken VC investments. We especially have not taken VC investments and then give the money back to the VC through a loan or a swapping or a reverse investment. And we just have never done that. We don't have loans. We don't have debt. We don't owe anybody any money. So no one, I believe in the industry, we don't owe anybody any money. No one gave us loans. We also did not give loans out of the platform. So we never take user assets and give it to a third party to manage and try to make yields, etc. We do a couple of things. We have a margin program where users' savings products are used to provide lending for the margin traders. But the margin traders cannot withdraw that money away. And our system does all the risk management. If the margin traders are out of margin, we liquidate and we do the risk management. So the funds never leave our platform. We do a bit of DeFi staking, but we only interact with a smart contract protocol, and we do that in a fairly limited basis. So we don't have funds that we give to another third-party fund manager, and we rely on them to perform well and not run away. Lastly. Many small exchanges rely on either each other or Binance for liquidity. So that means they have to make a deposit on Binance. And then, so they in their account, they will typically have millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars on Binance or in another exchange to sort of share liquidity. Binance, because we're the largest liquidity pool on the planet, we don't use other smaller exchanges for liquidity. So all of the user funds, all of our funds stay on our platform. We don't use other platforms for to borrow the liquidity. So from all of those aspects, our funds stay on our platform, and we publish the address. It's transparent. Nothing's risk-free, right? So crypto exchanges are inherently quite risky businesses.
So very fair response. Again, keep in mind, not your keys, not your crypto. So I don't keep crypto on a centralized exchange unless I'm actively in a trade. Be sure to join us at Token 2049 in Singapore next week in tandem with the BitGet Empower X Summit.
All right, I'm going to stop this because he just kind of plays like another short clip about him and his brother and their, I don't know, somebody made a short about them. It was kind of whatever. Anyways, all right, let's get over to Crypto Zombie. So this was 2 days ago. I kind of just want to go over and see like the charts and stuff and everything that he kind of goes through in this video. It says Bitcoin, proof they are effing with us. Don't be fooled. Connect the dots. So I want to see what he has to say about all of this. About a 25-minute video. We might skim through some of it, but let's jump right into it. I'm just going to go right to the Bitcoin analysis here. I'm going to skip the beginning just because it's a little extensive. All right, let's
Being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. Let's dive in. Let's have a look. Let's start with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, as you guys can see right here, has had multiple tests on this Terra Luna wick. I feel like I do this every time we start the video. But again, you can see right here, look at this. 1, 2, 3, right? So you don't want to hit it too many times to the point where I always use the analogy, you're jumping on a trampoline and then the trampoline gives out and you fall through, right? But what you do want to do is you want to build nice structure. You want to build a nice base, right? So we have to pay attention to that. Now, are we going to end up holding it? Will we end up falling? Well, thus far, it's actually quite crazy how there are a few things historically, for example, like being under the 200 weekly, you know, things of that nature that are pointing towards potentially more bearish price action, right? You know, some people I've even heard, you know, this looks a bit like maybe like a head and shoulders right here, right? Is that a possibility? Could be, guys. You know, I'm not really a fan of that particular pattern, but nevertheless, from this wick down here, we have actually held this upward sloping trend quite nicely, and we do have the 50 curling up, right? Now the 50, if we go back here, and we were showing you every time you have the 20 and the 50 have the golden flip, which we did have right here, generally you stay bullish for a very long time. It's not common to see it flip and then flip back instantly again, right? Of course, this time could be different. We've had a lot of very different scenarios that have been playing out. But as you guys,
aren't we looking at that right here? Isn't that a flip, right? Flips here and then flips right back under and then back up again. I mean, I don't know.
Guys can see,
anyways,
once we tend to get above it, we tend to hold above it for quite a long time. The only downside right now is that we got rejected off of the 20, right? So the 50 is not only coinciding down here at around the 23,500, 24,000, but we also have this right here, support. So we do still have the structure that is holding, right? Of course, some people have mentioned the CME futures gap down at around 20,000. Again, it's sort of iffy. Will we close it? I don't know, because we made the gap while we were closing a previous gap, right? But again, we still have this main upward sloping trend. So I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. I'm not going to keep talking about the same things over and over and over again. Again, massive VPR support here, 24, insane support at 20K, okay? And, you know, well, you're saying, well, what about if history doesn't repeat, right? That's the big question, right? Everybody wants to hear that bearish scenario. Okay.
So look at this right here. This chart's actually kind of cool, where it shows all the, you know, all the green, obviously the bull run, the rise up, and then it's got the pullback over here, all the red sections, and then the kind of neutral territory, which is all the gray. But it kind of repeats over and over and over. So we're getting real close to where it should be flipping green, at least from what I can see anyways. Does anybody here trade actually? I'm interested to know if you guys actually do actively trade or not.
Okay, well, we can toy with that a bit, and, you know, assuming that we get this flip, and then let's say right here, you can see we've never really done that and then started trading under the band, right? You guys can see right here, if we go back, once we trade above it, we stay above this band, right? Go over here. Once we go above it, we stay above this band. Well, right here, you can see we've fallen below the band, right? So again, history is not exactly playing out the way that it normally does. So all you doom and gloomers out there, what is the lowest possible price we could go to? Do I think we're going to go to this price? Personally, no. But what is data showing us? Well,
doesn't it have a dark mode?
Balanced Bitcoin price. So this is a metric, by the way, that was created by David Puel. Okay, if you really want to know, it's a transfer of price, a cumulative sum of coin days destroyed, adjusted by circulating supply and total time since Bitcoin's inception. Basically, in a nutshell, it kind of lets you know where the bottom might be. And you can see that there are a few instances, for example, right here, in which we do fall below it. Okay, right here, we dipped below it again. This very briefly was actually crazy.
That was like wasn't that COVID right there? if I'm not mistaken. I think that's like right where it came down to.
Is COVID didn't even touch it. That's interesting.
Oh, COVID was over here? Oh, okay. Interesting. What was this drop over here? I remember this drop.
That's very interesting.
The one that's
and
right here
it
behind
didn't
his
fall
thing.
below it. So you can see right here that we tend to never really ever fall below this ever, right? Are we below it right now?
Interesting.
No, we're not. And in fact, these two touches that we had right here, right when Bitcoin...
I remember this drop right here. This is when I first started watching Crypto Face and Market Cipher stuff. I actually made some money on this little drop right here, but yeah, I forgot that wasn't COVID. It was a little bit further up.
Bitcoin was around 20, and then when we fell down to the lows, right around that 15.5 area, you could see that we got full on support. So is there a chance we come down and touch it for a third time? Well, remember the last time we did that, it was a black swan, right? So that area, if you were to look at today, what is that price sitting at? It's sitting at around 15,400, okay? So I know, again, you're saying, oh, 15,000, so then there we go. We're going down to that level. Well, again, very rarely do we touch it. We had a triple tap here, right? This was a triple bottom, and then this was a black swan. So we've already had two touches. So if you genuinely, honestly think that we're going to crash, then this is telling us that we shouldn't go any lower than this. And by the way, by the time Bitcoin even would get down to that level, hypothetically, if you think we're going to that level, I don't. If you do, then yeah, it would be an amazing opportunity to buy. And the closer we are to this level, the better the opportunity is for accumulation and buying. So
I'm going to put a poll in the chat. I want to know if it gets down to 15, if it does come down and touch this line again, are you guys going to be purchasing Bitcoin? I'm going to throw a poll in the chat right now.
Already visited that level 2 times, and we've already moved off of that level. So you let me guys know what you think about that. But let's just look at some statistics right now. Let's try to read between the lines, honestly. In the past 18 months, we've seen a 4x in the amount of large players into Bitcoin, more than we've seen in the past 10 years combined, even though Bitcoin is now 10x more expensive than it was back then. Well, this can obviously come down to the fact that it literally just takes more capital, more money to move it, but we are seeing these large inflows. And if you don't believe that somebody somewhere is paying attention to these ETFs, well, have a look at this. For the first time in history, Bitcoin withdrawals from exchanges have surpassed deposits for 3 consecutive months. I believe it's estimated that there's only about 2 million that are actually liquid at this point. And look at this number absolutely skyrocketing. Oh, and if you don't think the whales are smart, if you don't think the big addresses are smart, how about this right here? Look at what happened, guys. This is where we had the major dip when we crashed down to 15. And look at this. This absolutely skyrocketed right there. Okay, so who are all these whales that are now accumulating wallets more than 10 Bitcoin? 10 Bitcoin's a lot of Bitcoin. Think about it. Many average people do not have 10 Bitcoin. Most people.
That's $250,000 right now. I mean, it's 25,000, right? Times 10. $250,000.
Even if you have the money for it, most people just don't have 10 Bitcoin, right? And you can see right here, what is that right there? Everybody's panicking, whales accumulating.
Yeah, that's BlackRock. That whole thing's BlackRock.
I mean, come on. It's the writing is on the wall. They know that there's two things, you fear, you FUD, right? You cause FUD in the market, and then you bore them, right? And markets really end in that boredom, right? It's that long, drawn out, I can't take this anymore. I'm just going bored out of my mind.
Listen, if you guys don't understand like the depression that's going on in the space, and like you see all these all the YouTubers getting like bearish or miserable, or everyone's fighting with each other in the bear market, like this is the stage right now where like everybody's either it's make or break. You're either do or die. You're getting out or you're staying in, and you're gonna handle it. You know what I mean? This is the point that sucks the worst to figure out what's going on. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see where this goes.
That's what the institutions are looking for. That's what these big whales want. CryptoCon points out, if we have a look, Bitcoin is racing down to realize losses on the 50-day moving average of the RPV ratio. Now, you guys can see right here, there usually are a few opportunities for this accumulation. In fact, it usually hits a second point before bouncing, and then it retests the level at the top. Each cycle into the peak, you could see that, well, basically in a nutshell, they're saying that if we repeat what we're doing, that in what we're having right now is actually a bull market fake out. Okay? But hear me out. After that, we usually have Bitcoin making a final visit to the realized loss. This isn't that far away. Bitcoin could get there any day. And that is generally when you see the beginning of the real bull market spark, right? Now, interest over time is absolutely dwindling, right? Cryptocurrency. Absolutely. Nobody's Googling it right now. Nobody cares. They're into other things. They're into AI or whatever, right? But, you know, I want to give a shout out to Eric Crown. He definitely is one of, he's a good friend of mine, and he's a very good analyst, very good trader. And, you know, he kind of made this tweet, and I really liked it, because he said, the GBTC pump has fully retraced. This means bad. Yes, surely you have noticed that the overwhelming majority of all news-based moves, whether up or down, retrace, right? Because trading news events is stupid. That's why I said the other day, you know, I did say that that would have been the point to short. It did go higher than that. But again, trading news events is scary, right? But what ended up happening? We got the retrace anyway, right? Probability was in the favor of the retrace. And he says a good example is that you really have to look at what price action is doing, especially during boring times. Example, May 2020, November 2020, there was no news that came out, but Bitcoin rallied from 9,000 to 18,000. Why? Doesn't matter. Price tells the real story. But there's other things that are happening, right? And this is why I don't understand where these bears are pulling these numbers out of, because we had 3 arrows, we had Terra Luna, we had Celsius, we had FTX, we had the banking contagion, right? All of the Fed hiking, interest rates going up, unemployment kicked up to 3.8%, and yet Bitcoin is still trading above its previous all-time high. What event? What black swan is World War? That's right. What is going to happen that is going to potentially be even harder? Maybe I'm missing something here. I just think that, it's that addictiveness. When things are bullish, you get overly bullish, and when things seem bearish, you get overly bearish. But then you can't actually switch to realize the narrative that's out in play right now. And like Joe Consorti points out, he says the Fed is done hiking, even though technically there's still about a 32.6% chance that they may raise one more time. You could see that it always pauses the rate raises when unemployment rises off of its cycle bottoms. Unemployment kicked up to 3.8% when expected was 3.5. So the question is, how long are they going to hold before the cuts? Now, we do know that Powell has still been remaining hawkish. He says he's going to hold it out for a little bit longer. Sure. I mean, we can pause all of 2024, but think about it. Once you pause, it's going to give that opportunity to readjust again, right? I know somebody's yelling, and I can read the comments right now. Someone's saying, yeah, but every time they cut rates, the market tends to dump. Yes, and it usually dumps because the reason that they're cutting the rates is because something has broken, right? Which is what they're aiming for, as nefarious as it may seem. And you might be wondering, well, then why is this still pumping, and how come we had a beautiful bounce off of the DXY? Well, I don't know, guys. It is the weekend. There are a lot of things happening right now, but if you...
Again, this was 2 days ago, so it was during the weekend.
Just look at what the world is doing. This is what I'm saying. You got to read between the lines. We have the BRICS nations, right? We have China and Saudi Arabia unloading hundreds of billions of dollars worth of U.S. treasuries. New numbers from the Treasury Department show that China has trimmed its U.S. Treasury from $938 billion to about $835. And then we also have Middle Eastern country Saudi Arabia dropping from $119.2 billion to $108 billion, right? So this just goes back to what Natalie Brunell had said over on Fox about whether or not the entire world is going to eventually be using things like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
You believe the entire world will be using crypto, even if it's limited to certain projects? The entire world?
I think the entire world will be using Bitcoin. Why? Because we need a superior form of money.
Would there be enough Bitcoin out there to make it a viable backbone for the entire global financial system?
Well, that's exactly the point, because you know what Bitcoin is immune to? Inflation. And we need a form of money, a superior form of money that's immune to that. Because who benefits from inflation? The rich people, the people who have assets, and the people at the bottom really suffer. And we've never had this.
Why do you think BlackRock wants that ETF? Just saying. I mean, yes, it's going to bring in mainstream adoption, right? Or eyes on Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, if you're investing in an ETF, you don't own the Bitcoin. They do, which is what they want, so they can control the money. Just saying.
This bout of wealth concentration since the late 1920s, and money doesn't really trickle down, but the defaults will trickle up. And I think everyone in this room can agree that at some point that money printer will go burr again. It has to. It's just math. We're too far into debt, and when it does, the bubble will get even bigger. The wealth concentration will get even worse. And thank goodness we have a parallel system through technology that we can peacefully exit into and start accumulating Bitcoin to fix some of these problems and leave behind, demonetize the Fed's monopoly on money.
And again, I tell you, the the world is changing, right? You've seen El Salvador putting Bitcoin on their country's balance sheet, having it as legal tender. This is something we only dreamed about just a few years ago. It's so funny how quick we forget, right? All we ever wanted was this, and we got it, right? Same thing for the ETF. It's inevitable. Even like we had RFK Jr. talking about how the Federal Reserve has basically stripped assets away from everybody and really created that gap between the upper and lower, basically abolishing the middle class. I'm not going to play the whole clip. It's a little bit longer. But again, he talks about potentially backing some of these, treasury bills with things like Bitcoin.
With no impact. I'm going to issue a series of treasury notes that are rooted in base currency, including...
Does anybody know what happened to his voice? Like, why is his voice so raspy? Does anybody know? Because I have no idea.
Bitcoin, silver, gold, platinum, and other base currencies, at least partially, so that Americans will have an option of buying T-bills and borrowing and of obtaining assets that are rooted in base currency, so that they're more of a hedge against inflation. And that will inject discipline into the market, but we need a lot more than that.
I mean, even just this news that came out of China, I feel like people are sleeping on a bit. Now, no, they didn't legalize crypto or anything like that, and there's a lot of people speculating that China probably won't. They'll probably just continue to run it all through Hong Kong. But nevertheless, cryptocurrency has been a pretty rough subject in China, right? And the government has imposed strict regulations and even outright bans on different aspects of the industry. However, in a recent report from China's People's Court, challenges this historical stance, offering newfound recognition of virtual assets as legal property. In a significant departure from conventional policy, the report, titled Identification of the Property Attributes of Virtual Currency and Disposal of Property Involved in the Case, that's a heck of a long name, asserts that virtual assets possess economic attributes that categorize them as property. So even though China is still not lifting their crypto ban, they are saying that cryptos are considered property. This is insane. This is massive. Could they end up reversing the ban? Well, a lot of people think they're not going to do that, but it's just funny how you just keep seeing all these guys. BlackRock a few years ago, right? Wouldn't touch Bitcoin with a 10-foot pole. It's just used for nefarious purposes and has no real value. Look what happened. Trump saying that, cryptocurrencies have nothing, they're thin air, and then he releases an NFT project, right? It's so funny how you see these guys coming around to it. And this has to be one of the craziest not conspiracies, it's just a theory. It's a funny theory. I almost think it's a joke. But listen to this. I'm not going to read all of this, but you have Zach G over on Twitter, and he says that Gary Gensler is actually a secret Bitcoin maximalist. And that's why he wants all the other cryptos to be securities and why he keeps delaying the ETF. So now he's trying to flip it, saying that Gary is on our side. I don't know. That would be crazy. Talks about him in MIT, his fascination with Bitcoin. Remember, he did all those original lectures. We've posted them multiple times on the channel. So now that he rose to power, they're saying that he's not obstructing progress. He's ensuring that individuals have a fair chance to accumulate Bitcoin before institutions dominate the market. Gary knows that institutions could flood the market if an ETF were approved, driving up Bitcoin's price. By delaying the ETF approval, he's providing a window of opportunity for retail investors to accumulate Bitcoin at more accessible prices, preserving the democratic and decentralized nature of Bitcoin.
Could you imagine if that was his plan the whole time? He's just trying to accumulate Bitcoin, giving shit to everything else.
So there we go. There's our answer, guys. Gary's actually on our side. He's a Bitcoin maxi. He wants Bitcoin to thrive, and he wants to give us all opportunities to accumulate Bitcoin before the big guys. I can't wait to...
Did you guys hear? Hold on. Let me get this up. This was breaking news right here yesterday. Let me bring this over here. Show you guys real quick.
Bitcoin's not a security, and you better pack your bags because we're going to the fucking moon. I'm done getting dunked on. Let it rip, baby. After the last 2 drubbings in court, I would say my job is in jeopardy. Actually, I never wanted this bullshit job. Now I am left with a shame name and a booty hole that is quite stretched out.
And I think the SEC's behavior in some of it has been, I don't know, I would say embarrassing as a U.S. citizen.
I absolutely love this clip.
Here's some of the comments below on this one. I'm pretty sure that's not the reason. But that was an excellent, excellent theory. And I do have to give some credit where credit is due. So, well, if this isn't a transition, I don't know what is. Speaking of possible securities, although nobody really knows because Gary, you know, they won't really come out and say if this is or that. They just want to keep finding people. But again, guys, you know, I do have a lot of people asking me about altcoins on this channel. I don't really like to talk about altcoins because realistically, guys, they're the Wild West and they're very, very hard to trade. And a lot of people lose money. They hold for too long. They don't take back their initial profits. And then what ends up happening is you end up getting a bunch of angry people in the comments, you know, so I just stay away from them. You know, I think you can just trade Bitcoin, but you know, just for example, so I do trade altcoins. Right now, you guys can see the Telegram bot space has been a little bit hot, right? You've seen Unibot absolutely pumping, PAALAI 27.9%. But what's crazy is even though you've seen these, well, I mean, now there's not a lot. It's a little bit of a red day only because of the markets recently. But we had seen some massive, massive gainers here. And a lot of these are in very low market caps. So, you know, these are more speculative plays, you know, and just to be fully transparent, guys, you know, my goal on this channel has always been to just accumulate more Bitcoin, okay? I used to marry these altcoins. I used to hodl them till the death years ago. And what?
How many of you guys actually hodl altcoins until you're blue in the face and you just watch them all go to zero? I know Matt Electron Rick has had a change of heart recently with his holdings of shitcoins. But I think there's a lot of us that are guilty of mining a bunch of crap and not converting it either into Bitcoin and just like leaving it in your wallets or selling out of it. That's yeah, I'm guilty of that too as well.
What ends up happening is you just become a bag holder, right? But if you want to play the game, you know, I've heard a lot of chatter, especially on Telegram, about these bots. So this is probably the first and last time I'll ever mention or probably do something like this in a long time. But if you guys are interested, I did just want to point out right here that one of the tokens, or one of these tokens that a lot of people have been talking about is this project Moeta, which is a burn token. You can find it over on Uniswap if you're interested. I'm not really going to go into this too much. They have a legitimate...
I'm not big on DeFi. Has anybody heard of this? Moeta?
Team. They really haven't had much price action at all. And, you know, if we just come over here at Dex Tools and have a look, so if we go way back here, you know, you could see that, look at it. It had some interest back here. You know, it had a little bit of a pump, came up to about 21 cents, fell all the way down to about 5 cents. And, you know, this has basically just been going sideways since April. And having a look at this structure right now, the fact that it did have this pump, okay, like I said, I don't know if this is a pump and dump.
Now, do you guys think he's shilling this for real? Patrick Murphy, do you think he's shilling it or do you think he's just really interested in this coin? I'm assuming he probably has some, but who knows?
Please do your own research on this. But as you guys can see right here, it has retraced about 60%. So it has.
All right, I'm gonna skip through this just because I don't want to like give you guys false hope for some shit coin. All right.
I don't really like talking about altcoins on this channel. So that you probably won't see me really mentioning any, but everybody asks me, so there you go. Have a look at the Telegram bot space. Seems like, you know, there's some coins popping off over there while people are bored while Bitcoin is not trading. So again, like I said, that's probably all you're going to hear from me. Not financial advice. Don't buy anything I talk about on this channel. I'm not soliciting. I'm not shilling. It's just something I look at. And these are plays that I take, you know, on the back end. I don't really talk about. I just kind of follow trends, follow Telegram groups. I see what people on Twitter are talking about, and I kind of get a gist of, you know, where you can find these plays. But I do want to end on the fact that talking about Bitcoin adoption, we do in fact have Colorado's Department of Motor Vehicles now accepting Bitcoin payments.
What?
Colorado's
I didn't even read that title to that video. That's impressive, actually.
DMV says they want to be innovative and convenient, so now they're letting you use cryptocurrency to pay for some services.
I bet things will change in the bull run though, when crypto's like, you know, worth way more than it is now. They're gonna be like, fuck you guys, I want dollars because you know, we want to buy in the bear market, not in the bull run.
The first thing that people ask for when they think, how do we improve the DMV, right? Crypto, yeah. It can be used to renew your driver's license or vehicle registration.
Oh, perfect.
The state DMV is going to let you use it as an online payment through PayPal. Can't use crypto there in person at the counter. The DMV says they're trying to find ways to leverage technology to offer services.
Wait. They say through PayPal? Is that what he just said? What timestamp? 24/7. Let me see. Let me go back a few seconds.
You use it as an online payment through PayPal. Can't use
PayPal.
crypto there in person at the counter. The DMV says they're trying to find ways to leverage technology to offer services.
So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
You know what's more shocking about that actually is the fact that so PayPal's trying to come out with their own, you know, PYUSD, right? If that comes through, they're probably going to be taking payment or acceptance of payment that way versus Bitcoin, which is kind of neat. So, hey, to each his own. Would you guys pay with Bitcoin at the RMV? To be honest, I would not. I think that's a waste of Bitcoin, but that's just my personal opinion. All right, let me just check out real quick. I want to go to mine the ASIC. I want to see what we have for miners today. Let me get some music on because this is miserable without it. Let's see. All right, some background music. Let's see what we got here. So mine the ASIC, I know a lot of people, or some people, just got their X16Q in, which is this miner right here, $3.23 a day. But this is, what's the electric rate here? 10 cents kilowatt hour. Steven Cicero, I know you got one of these. So what is your electric rate for this unit? Let's see. Do you ever use crypto for transactions? I have. I don't anymore. But I have for like purchasing mining equipment. Like when you say go to what's like Gold Shell I used it a lot. I used to just pay directly with crypto to get the mini box miners and stuff, because it's, why not? I'm not gonna cash out and all that bullshit. I'd rather just pay right, you know, mine it and pay it right out. It's way easier. Let's see. Pat's great idea. Number 342, live stream at Miss Teen Crypto, getting her lined up with our first mini ASIC GPU rig or something along those lines. Yes, we definitely need to get her mining. And shout out to Miss Teen Crypto in the chat, guys. Go check out her channel if you guys haven't. Get her some more subs. All right, let's see. Let me see real quick. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Would you put that on Octaspace? You know what? Trillion Capital, I've been thinking about it. I thought about it for like a month, putting it on Octaspace, because you can. It's definitely able to be mined, which is awesome. But I don't know enough about the coin itself. I need to read up on it today. Actually, I got to take the kids to the park, so I'm gonna you know what? I'll pull up their white paper on my phone and I'll read that while I'm there. But yeah, I need to look into Octaspace. Can we? Is there a way to Google it? Is it Octaspace? I can spell. There we go. Let's check it out. So what is it? Octaspace distributed computing, VPN, and data storage. Octaspace is a user-friendly cloud platform that grants access to distributed computing, data storage, serving VPN, and more. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned in distributed computing, Octaspace makes it easy for you. Tap into the combined power of CPU and GPU resources from nodes worldwide. Tackle even the most challenging tasks. You can also become a host and earn rewards by renting out your space, CPU/GPU, or traffic. That sounds like vast AI. Secure your data with our VPN services and enjoy effortless file storage. Weird. That sounds like vast AI. What do you mean renting out CPUs and GPUs? And this is all they got on the. Is this all they got on their network? There's no way. No way. I gotta read up into this. Who's on the Octaspace bandwagon right now? Is anybody here in the chat like this coin or into this coin very much so? See their white paper. Is it massive? I guess 14 pages long. It's not too bad. Could be worse. I'm not gonna read this here obviously, but I'm just trying to see nodes, resource computation layer, application layer, VPN, machine learning, storage. So yeah, they're into the AI stuff, kind of, right? Or it seems that way anyways. Layer 2 network, layer 1 network, blockchain gateways, octa-core and application layer. The octa-cores and application layers serve as the engine of the system. Sorry, this is tiny. Seamlessly handling all requests for compute rentals and providing an interface for creating services on top of resources provided by nodes. I'm gonna have to look into this. I gotta read into this more. I'm not gonna do it right now on stream, but I will. Let's see. Trillion Capital said, I have been for a few months now, and they are also partnered with Dynex, remember, and 100,000 Octa. You can run a node. Really? What's Octa at? What's it at price wise? Let's see. Is it even here? It is. Wow, it's on CoinGecko. Okay. 38 cents. That's pretty good actually. You know what? How's the difficulty on it? How's the difficulty when mining it? Check out this chart actually. Let's go to max. When did this come out? Actually, I think I looked at this the other day for some reason. April 23rd. So it was this year. I'm sorry, April 4th, 2023. Opened up at just under 20 cents, 17 cents, right at 38 cents, all-time high 79, well 84 it says on CoinGecko, but it's probably wrong. So around there, around 80 cents. That's pretty good though. I mean, it's pretty decent for the short-lived time it's been around. Man, I gotta look into this. I really gotta look into this. What am I doing? Clicked on the wrong thing. God damn it. I gotta look into this a bit more. The roadmap. I want to see like I want to get on the bandwagon of the AI stuff, like, you know, Vast AI, everyone's talking about it. It's like a huge thing now in the space. Mining King's all about it, Hawk's all about it, but like, I'm sorry, I highly doubt those profits are gonna last. That's just my opinion on it. The amount, all right, so it's like anything else, right? Everybody gets into mining and then mining becomes way less profitable than it was because there's so many more people on it. It's going to happen the same way with Vast AI, and at that point you're not like, there's going to be people that aren't rented with the same machines that they went out and spent 10, 20, 30 grand on to make this machine to hopefully get it rented. If it doesn't get rented, you're making zero. You're not making less, you're making zero. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem with Vast AI, at least in my opinion. But I mean, it's cool. Definitely, if you can make some money off of stuff you already have, do it that way, but don't go and buy a whole bunch of shit to get into the AI boom stuff. I don't think it's worth it, to be honest. But unless you're like, you know, a massive company and it, you know, it makes sense because you have the money to invest into something along those lines. But I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna get harder and harder to get your stuff rented, to be honest, as time goes on. Let's see. Leo Lusting through unMineable. Oh, Pac-Man, dude. Someone who was talking about Pac-Man the other day. Was that you, Leo? Was that you that asked me about that? Because I never heard about it until you talked about it the other day. Yeah, it was Pac-Man, right? Let's see. I gotta jet out of here in a minute, actually. No, it was on. It wasn't here. That's not it. It was on CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap. Let's see. I think it was this one, right? I think this was it right here, if I'm not mistaken. I saw a YouTube short about Vast that gave me a pause. Someone saying renter can use your rig to mine coins with no overclocks and burn up your GPUs. Oh, I bet. Yeah, so there's a lot unknown about Vast AI and what they can, or what somebody can do with your equipment, right? And that's the main reason I'm not going to do it. I don't care how much money it's going to make me a day. It's not worth putting my network at risk, right? I don't want somebody in my shit. That's just me personally. If I was like renting my stuff at a facility where I know, like, you know, it's their network, like I'll leave it over there, they can deal with it, that's fine. But like my house and shit, like I got cameras and stuff, I ain't letting people get into my stuff. It's just, I don't know, I don't trust it. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I think so. You can triple mine it with Octa and Zill. So he's saying we can mine this Pac-Man coin. I don't know anything about this one either. I'm gonna have to read up on this. When did this come out? Does it give a date anywhere, actually? Dude, I'm not very familiar with CoinMarketCap, to be honest. I just glanced at it briefly, but does it tell you when the coin came out? I could probably find it. Just go to the chart. Let's see. 6-9. So this is, wait, this is in June? This just came out? This just came out? What the hell? This spike, 28 cents. Now it's down to 3. Weird. Why did it spike up so high? I gotta read up on this. I don't know what the hell this is either. So you're saying I can triple mine Octaspace, Pac-Man, and what else? Zill? Was it Zill? The other one? See, like, now, honest opinion, anybody that's ever triple mined or dual mined, is it honestly profitable? Like, more profitable than just mining said coin? Because the only time I've ever done the dual mining stuff was back when Ethereum and Lithium, I could dual mine that. I ain't gonna lie, my electric bill skyrocketed from doing that. And it wasn't, it just wasn't worth it to me. So ever since that, I was like, I'm not dual mining anymore. I'm just gonna do the straight coin, because you ended up getting less of that other coin as well. Like whatever the first coin was that you were typically mining, you'd get less because now you're dual mining. That's just how it was. Yes, pack is based on the Octa chain. You dual mine it without having to do anything extra. All right, well that makes more sense. That makes way more sense how you can quote unquote triple mine, right? Because Steven Cicero said it's not triple mining. Gotcha. The Pac-Man is like a bonus. It's not dual triple mining. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Makes total sense. I remember Pac, says Miss Teen Crypto. Nice. Ask yourself if merge mining LTC and Doge is worth it. Yeah, but you're really mining. I know, but that's not a fair argument. Patrick Murphy, that's not a fair argument. You know it's not. Son of a bitch. Starting to stir stuff up. No, but I mean, other than that, okay. All right. I take it back. I take it back. The L7, you don't have a choice. You're mining Doge and you're just getting paid in both, right? Let's see. Don't do dual mining right now. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it, but all right, fellas. I need to get the hell out of here. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Again, happy Wednesday. Hopefully you guys can stick it through till the weekend. It is hump day. Enjoy the last couple days of the week. Payday's on Friday, hopefully for most of you. So anyways, have a good day. I'll catch you guys soon. Miss Teen Crypto, thanks for stopping by the stream today. Guys, go check her out. I believe she goes live in like an hour, if I'm not mistaken. 10:30, something like that now I think you go on. I usually catch it, but like briefly while I'm still trying to deal with the kids. So go check out Miss Teen Crypto. She'll be live shortly after this. Guys, have a good day. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Peace out.